Hi Michael, thanks for joining us today. So what sort of things do you look for when you're employing a student or a graduate?
It starts from the very basics. First of all, presentability. What do they look like? How do they conduct themselves? What's the body language like, especially in an interview scenario? In terms of their skills and abilities, we want them to be good writers. We want them to be able to communicate effectively, verbally as well. Got to have some confidence about them as well. And obviously, the big one is the knowledge. Knowledge of not just what's happening on their course, but the wider PR industry and the business community as a whole as well.
What about social media? That's been a big thing.
Yeah, well, I think social media is very much a big topic at the moment, and a lot of people in the industry are still learning about it. If ever anyone badges themselves as a social media expert, don't believe it, because I don't think everybody knows what's truly happening yet, and it's constantly evolving. However, we do need students to come through now with strong, what we call digital communication skills. So looking at the likes of how can you use microblogs such as Twitter, obviously social networks such as Facebook, or other channels such as YouTube, Flickr. There's a whole variety, but also importantly blogs. How can they use those to help get a client's message out there?
If you were running a course, say you were running the PR course, what sort of things would you be teaching students? Or what do you think? What sort of things would you like students to be learning?
There's nothing better than practical skills. When I was at university here years and years ago, we had a lot of theory, which is good, which helped us build up an idea of the industry itself, but you can't beat practical, on-the-job learning. So perhaps there might need to be some more engagement with employees in terms of developing apprenticeships or even longer-term placements. I know the university does those already, but in looking back at what we need as employers, I would be teaching on the course general business skills. You've got to have commercial acumen. When you go into consultancy life, or whether it's in-house, you still need to know how to plan budgets, how to work with agencies or clients themselves. So you need the softer side of skills, softer management skills, alongside the theory of PR itself. Obviously looking at different ways of communicating nowadays, not just through the print or broadcast media, but as you've already mentioned, social media. And focusing a lot on perhaps some of the sectors as well, not just, I think a lot of people get an idea that PR is about celebrity or sports. Well, it isn't. It's about, a lot of it is about looking at consumer products, looking at B2B products, as well as looking at other industries such as sports and celebrity, of course. So it's giving people a whole knowledge of the industry itself. Look at case studies in the past of good practice, look at case studies of bad practice, and in just looking at the industry as a whole, but obviously focusing on other skills, soft management skills, client relationship skills, financial skills, and also looking at just the business world as it stands, and understanding what happens in business as well as just PR.
There's a lot of talk at the moment about there's not many jobs around in the country, that kind of thing, and economy, etc., etc. How do you think PR is as an industry? With people looking which sector they want to go into, what do you think the future of the whole industry is?
I think it'd be quite buoyant. I think in the next probably 12 to 18 months things will get back on an even keel. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen in the next 6 months. Obviously there's still a lot of change. Some of the cuts still haven't filtered through. I would advise any agency really not just to focus wholly on one particular sector, but have a spread of clients across a number of sectors. But obviously, if you're a specialist and you're good in a particular area, you'll always be in demand. I think that's very much important, and I think the greatest skill an agency can have, or a greater commitment, is to service. If you get your service right and the clients get a good service from you, and you deliver what you say you're going to say what you're going to deliver, then ultimately you're going to have quite a long life in consultancy. The wider industry, you're always going to have winners and losers, and the people who don't commit to having a good service level or being knowledgeable about the industry, invest in training, they're the ones that are going to lose out.
Yeah, so it's a bright future really for PR.
I think so. It's a discipline it's going to be in increasing demand. You've probably seen yourself from the activities of BP and what happened out there. You know, companies are very much under the spotlight now. The internet is giving people a voice. So traditionally, editors would have the overall say about what actually makes news. Well, people don't have to go through those channels now. They can get onto the internet and they can voice their opinion, as you've already mentioned, through social media channels or other channels. So it is a very much changing industry at the moment, but very good to be in at the moment.